Hello everyone, Ron Johnson from L.T.L Tutoring Central, and if you're looking for tips and strategies to help with your learning, you are in the right place. Teach Myself, Teach Myself. That's the title of my new book up on Amazon, available in e-version or paperback. Here's the paperback version. And you can do a title search in Amazon. Just type in Teach Myself, Teach Myself. I'll also put a link below. That'll be to Amazon.com. Some countries have their own extension. For example, in Canada, it's Amazon.ca, but a search in either will get you there. The book is designed with short chapters to help you get started quickly on becoming an independent learner, or to improve your independent learning skills if you're already on that journey. The first few chapters have steps or little exercises that you can do to jump right in and get started. The whole idea is to become a self-taught learner, because I believe that self-taught learners do best. In fact, in the end, I think we are all self-taught learners. And if you learn these tools, you can do things not only quicker, but better. The quality is the most important piece. In this video, we're going to have a look at the table of contents and dive into a couple of chapters and have a little bit of a closer look so that you can have a better understanding of what you're getting into, and then make your decision on whether you would like the e-version or the paperback version. All right, so let's have a look at the table of contents. Now, I didn't list all of the table of contents, but most of them are here. There's an introduction that comes first. And then what if you do not love learning? Because a lot of people think, well, I can't do this because I just don't love learning. I hate learning. So that's why I address that off the top. And I think you'll be surprised when you read that chapter. Then there's commitment. Obviously, you have to commit yourself if you want to succeed at anything. And then there's a chapter on reading checklist, take a few notes, write, set up a schedule, listen with intent, and then a little more about listening. It's so important. Create a study space for yourself. That's another idea that some people don't think is important, but it can be very important, and it doesn't take a lot to make that work. Ask questions. There's nothing probably more important than asking questions. You have to ask yourself questions, your teacher questions, the textbook questions. You always should be asking questions. And be curious. That's connected. And, you know, how do you stay curious? We're going to talk about that in a minute. Read for pleasure. And more about note-taking, because note-taking is so important. So remember, the first few chapters are to help you get started quickly, and that's why we have some later chapters that say more about ... because we're going into a little bit more depth. Then there's note-taking and abbreviations that can help you take notes more quickly, but still effectively. More about writing, the dreaded essay. So many people don't like essay writing. So there's a few tips on how to make that a little easier for yourself. I'm going to go into that a little bit more in a moment too. Writing for fun. Learning should be fun. So I wanted to remind people that writing can also be fun. Math practice, break it down, goal setting, a word about grades. A lot of people get caught up in grades and forget that it's not about grades, it's about learning. Humor, so important to everything in your life. If you want to feel good, if you want to do well, you've got to have a sense of humor, I think. And that applies to learning just as much as anything else. Learning styles, a word or two about learning styles and how they can get you trapped. They can get you caught up as well. Don't allow that to happen. Assessments, same problem. They can also get you trapped. So you got to be careful with assessments. They have a good side and a bad side, pros and cons. Exam strategies, tips that you can use to do better on tests or exams. It's called exam strategies, but it applies to any kind of quiz or test. Milk carton theory, you might be interested to read that one. That's a little bit different. Take care of you. There's nothing will work if you're not taking care of yourself. So there's a little chapter on that. Just as a reminder, I think most people know, but sometimes we need reminders. And a reminder also that the brain is part of your body. I've talked about that a lot. I keep mentioning it because people forget. They think the brain or the mind is a separate thing. It isn't. It's part of your body. If you don't take care of your body, then your brain is not going to work either. And age is not an issue. So that's another excuse that some people come up with, and it seems legitimate enough in some cases, but it isn't really. I mean, we can learn at any age. Yes, it might be a little bit different. Yes, we might need to use different techniques or tactics, but age is not an issue. You can start learning at any time. Okay, so bear with me. I'm going to go in depth in a couple of chapters, just a little bit, just to give you a taste of what's happening in a few of the chapters. And I'm going to be reading it directly from the paperback version here, so I'll be looking up and down a little bit. And the first one I'm looking at is the write chapter. Believe it or not, writing and reading complement one another. When you write about a topic or a story, you gain a much fuller understanding of the text, the characters, and the plot. Basically, everything becomes clearer. When you simply read, your short-term memory serves you well. However, it does very little for long-term memory. To increase the duration of the material you retain, you need some kind of rehearsal, and writing is one tool to get you there. Do not be frightened. Writing in this way can be enjoyable and can add so much more to the basic note-taking or study that you have been doing up until now. And then it continues from there. Also, in many of the chapters, later in the chapter, there's a little anecdote or true story about students that I've had, experiences that they've had and how they've overcome them or how we dealt with them. In this case, it's about Sophie. All right, I'm going to move on to the Be Curious chapter. Very important. Humans are born curious. We like to explore all the time. You probably don't remember being a baby, but if you've seen babies or small children, they are constantly exploring by putting everything in their mouths. Probably not a great idea, but they have limits at that age. As they get a little older, you might have experienced the why stage. They want to know everything they can. Why is the sky blue? Why do I have to go to bed? Why do birds fly? Why can't I fly? Why are there only 7 days in a week? Why can't I have a puppy, a turtle, a snake, a tarantula? As people get older, some of them lose this natural curiosity. So I want you to keep your curiosity. And there's another anecdote or true story here about Tommy. The names have been changed, of course. These aren't their real names, but Tommy. It's a funny little story actually. I almost burst out laughing when it happened. And then there's some tips on how to maintain or how to keep that curiosity, because sometimes we do tend to lose that when so-called real life gets in the way, but we can maintain that. All right, a little bit from the dreaded essay. A lot of people have difficulty writing essays or really any longer academic article. If you have to do a seminar or a presentation, that's also difficult. And many of the writing techniques are the same. There's some differences if you're giving a presentation or a seminar to an essay, but many of them are the same. So during your academic career, you will likely have numerous writing assignments such as speeches, presentations, book reports, and the dreaded essay. So many students panic about the essay that I thought I would put down a few words to help in this regard. Also, these ideas apply to any writing assignment. First of all, where do I start? That's a question that I hear all the time. Students often have no idea what they should do to begin. So we go into discussing how to get started. And then I have a little section in this same chapter called Essay Writing in a Nutshell. And it gives you some examples of what to do in terms of essay writing. I go on to help you get started. So we talk about brainstorming, asking certain questions of yourself, and we talk about free flow writing. So all of these things will help not only with essay writing, but with pretty much any kind of writing, but especially academic writing. That's what that focuses on. So there you have it, a little bit more about the book Teach Myself, Teach Myself. Don't forget that you can just do a title search on Amazon. Just type in Teach Myself, and it'll pop up for you. There's a little bit more information there about myself and also about the book, so that might interest you too. In the meantime, keep learning and keep having fun. Bye-bye for now. A quick look at the subscribe button, the notification bell, of course the thumbs up for like if you like the video, and there's the website www.tutoringcentral.com, and email me at tutoringcentral@inbox.com.